Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. I've already made one video today, but I've had a sick dog all day long and she's kept me on my toes, and so while I was taking care of her, I decided I'd do another video. Today, I want to remind you that I have 2 bars of silver that I'll be giving away in the month of May to anyone who is subscribed and leaves a comment in the month of May. Your name will be put in a hat, and a third party will draw the name, and the silver will be on its way to you in a matter of hours. Tonight I want to go Democrats 101. The Democratic Party was formed in 1792. You know, because they were upset. Get this, people. Even way back then in 1792, the Democrats became the Demonrats because Thomas Jefferson's followers, called the Jefferson Republicans, had a name, and the Democrats didn't have a name, so they had to come up with one. They didn't want to be left out, people. Just like today, they don't want to be left out. In the 1840s and 1850s, Demonrats wanted slavery extended to all of the Western territories. Now, people are talking Democrats now. They're wanting to spread slavery from the South to the Western territories. Well, the Southern Democrats insisted on slavery at all cost. But the Northern Democrats resisted, and the Democrats split into 2 different parties, the Northern Democrats and the Southern Democrats. Well, when Abraham Lincoln won the presidency, it was because the Democratic votes were split between 2 different people within the same party. So, of course, Lincoln won. And you know, during and after the Civil War, the Democratic Party identified itself as the white man's party. Let me tell you something, people. Black folks today, they seem to think that the Democrats are all about them. But I'm going to tell you something, people. The Democrats ain't for the black folks. They ain't for black people. Not at all, in any way, shape, form, or fashion. What they want to do is they want to keep you stupid, ignorant, and blind. They want to feed you what you want to hear. They're going to give you what you want, so you'll vote for them. That's what it's all about, people. That's the Democrat for you. They don't care what they have to do to a race of people or to a class of people to get them to vote. They'll do anything. That's why they preach open borders and come on in, because they want the voter base. And people, that's what it's all about. These Demonrats are on their heels, and they're fighting because they don't want to fall to the wayside. And they never will, because there's so many of those demons. But we can try to push them away every day and drain that swamp a little bit more. You know, the Southern Democrats remained one party in the region of the South until 1960, when the Northern Democrats again became one party with the Southern Democrats because of the discriminatory policies against blacks. People, it was all in keeping the black man down. That's all the Democrats wanted. That's what they all intended. They wanted slavery. They did not want to end slavery. People, the Democrats are the ones involved in the KKK and in all forms of bigotry and lies. You know, over the years, the Southern Democrats took control of both houses of Congress, and during the 1930s, an anti-lynching bill was passed, and Democrats raised hell. They didn't want this anti-lynching bill. People, that's where you take a black man out and beside a tree, and you throw a rope over a limb, and you put a rope around his neck, and you hoist his ass up, and you hang him. Lynching. That's what I'm talking about. They filibustered that bill until it died. As the end of the 19th century came to a close, Republicans were the party of business during the Gilded Age. Republicans determined politics in America until the stock market crash and the Great Depression. Then in 1932, Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected, and he was the first Democrat elected since Woodrow Wilson. Well, anyway, Roosevelt launched the New Deal. Does that sound like something you've heard before? Roosevelt, way back then, introduced the New Deal. Now we have the New Green Deal or the Green New Deal, whatever it is that socialist, I won't say it, is calling it these days. The New Deal was all about federal relief programs that still exist today. Democrats enjoy political dominance, and it would last for 60 years, people. Give people free stuff, and they vote for you. I want to get to that in just a minute. We so-called Dixiecrats didn't like the freebies that they were giving away to the blacks and to the other people around the country, and the expansion of labor unions into the South and more federal powers imposed upon us were not something we liked. And we fought back against that. So we Southern Democrats, we walked away. We walked away from the Democratic Party. There's a Democratic Party now being walked away from, and it's been being walked away from for centuries. People, if you're not getting the freebies or giving the freebies, you're not a Democrat. It is true that Republican President Eisenhower in 1954 signed civil rights legislation. There was nothing wrong with that. It was time. Black folks have been kept down long enough. Us white folks had done enough damage, I think. And it was time that we started looking at these people and not as objects. And so he did. He passed that bill in 1954 on civil rights. That was the beginning of civil rights, people. It was a Republican that started it. But then, it was LBJ, a Democrat from Texas, who I believe, with all my heart, is knee-deep in the JFK murder. LBJ signed civil rights bills in 1964 and voting rights bills in 1965. And that would have been just fine, people, to pass these bills for the black people. It would have been fine if he hadn't have had an ulterior motive. LBJ said upon signing the Welfare Act into law, and people, I'm not going to mince words. I'm going to say it just like he did, and I hope I don't hurt nobody's feelings, but if I do, get over it. By giving them welfare, he's talking about the black folks. By giving them welfare, we will have the niggers voting Democrat for 200 years. That's what the President Lyndon Bang Johnson said. In today's society, the Democrats feed welfare to everyone wanting a free handout no matter your race. Demonrats count on those welfare and food stamps that they're giving out to get people to vote for them. As I said earlier, it's all about the voter base. That's how the Demonrats work. Since the passing of Roe versus Wade, many have left the party and now vote Republican just because of the issue of abortion. It was difficult for people to be Christian in the Democratic Party and vote pro-abortion every single time. They got tired of it and they walked away. Some call this a culture war. Well, it's not a culture war, it's a war of humanity. And I believe in my heart that if you call yourself a demon rat, then you are in support and you encourage abortion even up till the day of birth, and that makes you a murderer. If you vote Democrat, then you have blood of every aborted child on your hands. How can you sleep at night? In no way can you be a Catholic and be a Democrat. Everything I know about Catholics tells me devout Catholics don't believe in abortion. That means all of these so-called Catholics are all hypocrites. Because when it comes to religion, they don't care. They vote abortion rights every time. Nancy Pelosi, you're all the time talking about being a Catholic. Well, if you're a Catholic just like the damn Pope. Blood on your hands. In 1992, Democrats elected Bill Clinton. You know, they elected him after Republicans being in the presidency for 20 years. And I have to tell you, some of those Republicans that we had in there were no better than any demon rat that ever lived. I am pro-Trump. I will defend him and our Constitution with my dying breath. But I'm going to tell you, in the past, we've had some demon rat Republicans in there that were Republican in name only, and you know who I'm talking about. I'll just give you their initials, the whole damn Bush family. As a nation, we saw our nation prosper under Bill Clinton. But you know, it was one scandal after another, after another. One woman, then another woman, then another woman. And then you had Hillary, threatening these women. I mean, it just got really sick. And of course, there was Monica Lewinsky. So, without being removed from the presidency, Bill Clinton got impeached. He didn't seem to care. I mean, when he was questioned about Monica Lewinsky, he was so smart to say, well, that depends on what the definition of is. You see where the Democrats are, people? They're trying to pull crap right over your eyes every day that they open their mouth on a microphone somewhere in front of a camera. In 2008, I don't know if it's Barack, I don't know if it's Hussein, I don't know if it's Obama, I don't know if it's Barry, I don't know if it's Santos. But one of these names belonged to our 44th president. And I'm just going to pick Barry. That's good and simple. Because even now, we really don't know who he was. Or who he is. We have no idea. His birth certificate was fake. It was proven time and time again that they took 9 different birth certificates and they pieced them together to make one. Forensics can find that stuff out, people, and they found it out that it was a fake. He's a fake, just like John McCain was a fake. You know, we know Obama was an activist who was friends with a terror group known as the Weather Underground. And I have to say just a little bit about Barry's connection with domestic terrorism. In 1969, Bill Ayers co-founded the Weather Underground, a communistic revolutionary group intent on overthrowing our government. Obama said he only knew Ayers in passing because they lived in the same neighborhood. He's a liar. He's a liar. Because when Obama ran for his first Senate seat, Ayers had his first, I don't even remember what you call it now, his first damn bunch of people come in there. I've lost my place on my paper, so it don't matter. But anyway, Obama and Ayers were actually partners in what they call the Chicago Edinburgh Challenge Group, or the CAC. So he was in this group with Ayers, but yeah, he didn't know Ayers. I think I'm going to get now where I was looking at a while ago and I couldn't find it. In fact, Obama's first run for the Illinois State Senate, first fundraiser, That was the word I was looking for. Fundraiser. The first foreign fundraiser was held in the home of the terrorist Bill Ayers. But he didn't know this man, only in passing. Okay? So how did he do this? How could he be at someone's house having a fundraiser, but he doesn't know him? Since Obama's election until this very day, even though Donald Trump's presidency of, over this country over the last 2 years has been fantastic. He's done a great job. But Obama and his wife Michael, did I say Michael? Yeah, I meant to say Michael. Still try to pass themselves off as the forever president and the forever first lady. Man, I think I was corrected the first time when I called her Michael. Obama and past Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, along with the FBI, the DOJ, the NSA, the CIA, and all the other three-letter agencies, to include Congress, the Senate, Hollywood, and most elites across the country, have conspired to keep anyone except Hillary Rodham Clinton out of the White House. Hillary was not supposed to lose to Donald Trump. The Democrats are now fighting on every front, knowing if they lose in 2020, many of them, if not all of them, will go to Gitmo. Here's what the Democrats are. The Democrats are the party of abortion, even up until birth. They're the party of open borders. Come on in, MS-13. You're welcome. Come in. Run over our cities. Kill people, rob people, do all those evil things you want to do. It's okay with the Democrats. Ending ICE and Border Patrol to stop MS-13 and these gangs from taking over our cities and parts of our towns. And the Border Patrol to secure our border, to keep these illegal aliens from crossing our border at will. Once they cross the border, 1 foot across the border, they are now entitled to more money a month than I get in my retirement, and that is wrong. It's going to be welfare for all, especially if you're an illegal alien. It's going to be free college, especially if you're an illegal alien. Common Core, dumbing down of our kids. Everyone gets a trophy. Nobody loses. Everybody's a winner. No God. No flag. No Pledge of Allegiance. No 10 Commandments. No Bible in schools except for the Quran, the deceitful, despised book of the Muslim faith. It's all lies and it's evil. It's of Satan. Censorship, or the party of censorship, as long as they don't agree with you. If you say something they don't like, they'll censor you, and they don't seem to take one mind about it. Nobody says nothing to them because they're the Demonrats, the AKA Deep State. Fake news is all lies. There's no truth in them, people. It's all about resist and resist and resist anything Donald Trump. Demon rats have been rats for many years, and now these demon rats have grown horns and they spit fire of hate every day into the faces of we Christians as we work and pray for good in this country. We have demon rats in our government who work every day to destroy America. That's their plan, people. Destroy America. You've got this Omar and Cortez and this Khalif or whatever her name is. All they want to do is bring socialism and Sharia law in our country. We as American patriots cannot sit on our hands and let this happen. We have socialists. They're trying really hard to win votes, and I dare to say that many of the blue states would be just fine with socialism or communism or Marxism or Leninism or Nazism They'd be fine with it as long as it's not Americanism or nationalism. As long as they, the Demonrats, spread hate and lies against our great president, the best president in history, if I might say so. No matter what they try to do, they spread lies and deceit. They try to corrupt the truth, but they can't win against our president because he's a winner, and because he's a winner, we're a winner. People, stand up for Donald Trump, stand up for the flag, stand up for America, the Constitution, and the United States as a whole. I know everybody that's listening to me on this channel feels the same way as I do. Demonrats, you're not going to win. We patriots won't let you win. It'll all come to fruition one day. Everybody, I'm Deplorable Bobby. Pray for our children. Pray for this nation and pray for each other. I'll see you later.